Okay, hello. This is Julie. This is my channel, excuse me, called Julie Knits. And if you can't guess by the title, I knit. I also crochet and I do some other crafts, but I won't be going into those today. So what I'm gonna do is talk to you about some finished objects, some things that I made when I was on deployment. It's been a while, so I am an active duty sailor in the United States Navy. I am a chief, a CTRC, a cryptologist, and I am stationed on a ship out of Norfolk. And we just got back, well, I say just got back, it was like 5 months ago or 4 months ago. We just got back from an 8-month-long deployment. So we were pretty much gone the entirety of 2023. If we weren't on deployment in 2023, we were off doing exercises. So we were gone pretty much the whole time. And I definitely got some good knitting time in. So I'm going to show you the sweaters that I completed during that time. And then I'll show you some other FOs and some whips as well. Just to thank Jamie from Cozy Up Knits. She kind of, not pushed me, but just kind of, it's like, hey, when are you going to put another episode up? And I have been meaning to. In all honesty, I've just been procrastinating and haven't wanted to do it. And I wore this shirt especially for her and Sarah because this is my jank tank. And I just wanted to, for this to be the year of like not being embarrassed by your janky tank. So I wore it just for you guys. My earrings that I'm wearing are from Designs by Yasmin on Etsy. And she does these beautiful crochet earrings. As you can tell, they're light as a feather. They're really nice. Please check her out. It's Designs by Yasmin. I don't have show notes, so you're going to have to deal with me spelling or forgetting. Because that'll probably happen as well. Yeah, so a little bit of backstory. Like I said, am in the Navy. I'm stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, which is in the United States. And I've been in the Navy for over 18 years now. Like I said, I went on deployment. I did get, unfortunately, right at the end of deployment, I got Dear Jane. Or I got a Dear Jane letter is the easiest way for me to say that. If you don't know what that is, just Google it or message me. You can find me on Instagram at julie.knits. And yeah, so I'm just living my best life and trying to move forward. And then I've had a lot of knitting time because I did have surgery April 12th, and I'll go into that later on in a little bit of life stuff. I'm not gonna make this too long because this is the second time I'm recording this, and I feel like, well, it wouldn't upload to YouTube, so I'm hoping that I'll make this around like 40 minutes, and then it will upload to YouTube. Okay, so let's get into some finished objects. I'm gonna do finished objects first, and then I'll go into the knitters, the sweaters that I knit on deployment. I've really been into blankets, and I actually started the Easy Ripple blanket. It's on Attic24's website. If you just Google Attic24, there's tons of free crochet patterns. Thanks to the Yarn Hoarder for that. I just realized I forgot a drink. That's a bummer. I am going to stop this video and piece this together and go get a drink of water. So I hope that's okay with everybody. Okay, so brought to you by LaCroix, whatever, I don't know. It's the berry flavor, and it's in my Chevirel Grab Your Drink koozie? That's better. Okay, cool. So I've really been into blankets. This isn't a blanket, but the Easy Ripple blanket by Attic24, that's what I was talking about. And I ordered this yarn on KnitPicks. If you want the colors, just message me. I'm not going to put them in here. But what I did was I was watching Kay the Crazy Sock Ladies podcast. She held up these socks. And she was like, these are amazing. And I wish I had a blanket out of them. And they looked like the same colors that you'd see in a 70s couch. Like, it was beautiful and amazing. So I was like, done. Yeah, I'll do that. And she was doing her heel toe do-si-do pattern. So there was all waves. And I was like, I'm going to do a wavy blanket out of that. So this is all Knit Picks Swish worsted yarn. And like I said, if you want the colorways, just let me know. I will stand up. And it's just a repeat. It's huge. Goes from there to there. Lots of blanket, right? So I did that. I started that when I got back from deployment. I'm just gonna throw that over there. It'll be fine. And I kind of let it languish for a little while, and then I really got boogieing on it when I went on convalescent leave after my surgery. As you'll find out later on, I couldn't do anything during my convalescent leave, so I did do a lot of knitting and knitting of blankets. Okay, second finished object is my Traveler hoodie by Andrea Mowry. And here's the hood. This is such a cute sweater. I'm going to put it on for you, and then I'm going to take it right back off because it's hot. It's over 80 degrees here. We've already had thunderstorms. All right. So cute. Look how cute this is. And the hood is perfect. So the hood is actually about as much knitting as the body of the sweater. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the biggest, most gigantic hood. Guys, it's perfect. Like, it is the perfect little hood. So just follow the pattern and enjoy it and love it. Just understand this was, I want to say like a skein and a half, almost 2 skeins worth of knitting. I definitely ran out. This is a set from Yarn Cafe Creations. She did a beautiful faded coffee set, and I had no idea what I was going to make with it, but I had to have it. So I got it, and like years later, the Traveler hoodie. But it's a perfect design to fade stuff in. And I actually have a calendar from Yarn Inc., an advent calendar last year that is a fade that goes from like navies to grays to purples to navies. It's beautiful. It's this beautiful like dark jewel tone fade. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to mod it a little bit and do 1x1 rib. Excuse me. Of course I had to pick LaCroix, and now I'm going to be all burpy. It's fine. So anyway, it's a perfect faded sweater, and I'll probably do the crew neck for the advent calendar because I don't think I'll have enough yarn to do the hood. But gosh, if you have the yarn, it is absolutely 100% worth it. And it's so cozy. This is 100% merino, this base. I would love to see it knit up in a Polworth. I know that Andrea Mowry did hers in Farmer's Daughters Fibers, but I don't know if it was a non-superwash or a superwash. So, but it blocked beautifully. If you want extra length and you use a non-superwash, I would just recommend knitting more. If you have a superwash, just stretch it out when you block it like I did, and it's perfect. So again, taking this off, so hot. But yeah, Traveler hoodie. Hashtag show off your jank tank, Sarah. All right, finished object. Let me get this out of the pile. And then my other finished object is a little brioche sweater. This is the 6 to 12 months, or the first size. And I knit this out of the Brooklyn Tweed Imbue Sport. I got this from my local yarn shop. She's amazing. It's called the Yarn Club in Virginia Beach. That's not the color. That's a charcoal color that I'm going to be using for the Andrea Mowry's Big Cozy Coat. Because I think I'm going to start it today, even though I have absolutely no business putting anything else on the needles. I can't help it, and it just looks like something I could wear around, obviously not this summer, but there are times like in the air conditioning that I get really chilly and I want to put something on, and I just feel like it would be amazing. It's probably going to be way too hot, but anyway, back to what I was talking about. The brioche sweater, and that is by Chi Miyagawa, and that's C-H-I-E Miyagawa, M-I-Y-A-G-A-W-A. So that's that. That's gonna knock the camera. Let's just not do that, okay? And yeah, like I said, I use the Imbue. This is for my boss's baby. She doesn't know what she's having, so I figured teal was like a really good color to, I don't know, for like a neutral. So it's so squishy. The We Share Needles podcast, they are knitting a bunch of these for babies that are being born in their families. And they said it's great, it's brioche, but it's not going to be snaggy. Like, it's a brioche, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's the gauge, but it's going to be really nice. So check that pattern out. It was a joy to knit. It's just one color brioche, so it's super, super easy. It was a lot of fun. Okay. Deployment sweaters. So I have more. I just don't know where they are. Oh, I have one more. I have to go get this other one. I will in just a second. I will go out of camera and get it. I have more than what I'm about to show you, but I don't know where I put them. Like, I might have given them away. I'm not sure. I know I did knit a tank top. I'm not sure where that is. I'm sure it's somewhere. But anyway, we'll start. Okay, so this is the Halu sweater by Caitlin Hunter. Can you see that? Yeah. And this is knit out of Dragon Horde yarn. The colorway is called Twilight, I believe, and this is out of her Polworth base. And I can't even tell you how absolutely joyous it was to knit with this yarn. So this yarn is, it is not rustic feeling, but it is not like 100% superwash feeling, right? But it's still really soft, and the stitch definition, I mean, you can already see it. This is absolutely beautiful. So this, I already had the neckline done for the most part before deployment, and so it really was just body knitting and sleeves. So I'm sure a bunch of you are like, wow, okay, our government is paying you to knit. Great, thanks. Thanks for protecting us. And that's not the case. So I will explain to you kind of how I got so much knitting done. When I'm on watch, so when I'm manning like my space, there are no electronics allowed in there or anything like that. And so you have to watch the computer screen. That's what we do. We have to watch the computer screen. If anything comes in of interest, we do stuff with it. And that's about as detailed as I'm going to get. So I watch a computer screen for 3 to 6 hours, sometimes longer, depending. And if I can knit and stockinette round and round and round, or ribbing, then I can just do it without looking. Maybe have to look down for like 1 second. Oop, hair. And then look right at the computer screen again. So I can just boop, 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 like I was watching TV. So that's how I was able to get all this stuff done. You'll notice that a lot of these are stockinette. And I would usually create or start them, like, sometimes I could do the yoke increases. It wasn't a big deal because I had markers. And if I, was busy, I could just set it down and it would be fine. But that's how I got so much done. Not lazy. Not just, using time. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Whatever. You guys figure it out. Okay, the next one. This is the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. This is a round yoke sweater, and this is out of Crafting Kraken Maid's Marled yarn. She does not sell this anymore. She doesn't have a store anymore, which is sad. I have a gajillion pairs of her earrings. I have 7 stitch markers right there that I haven't even used yet that I ordered when I knew she was closing, because she makes these hand-painted stitch markers. Oh, and I was like, I have to have these. Like, I can't let them go. But she also dyed yarn for a little bit. And this is the Marled base, so it's like, I think it's 1 strand of non-superwash and 2 of superwash, but they're applied together. So that's why they take the yarn differently. I didn't marl this. The colorway was marled. And this sweater is, I knit it because Eden knit it. And she explained it. She was like, this is like the best fit for me, and I love it. And I saw it on her body, and we have different body types, obviously, everybody does. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. So I knit it to pattern. I probably added a little bit of length. But yeah, I knit it, and I was like, wow, she wasn't kidding. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. Unblocked, it fit me like a dream. Blocked, it's 10 times better. Same with that Halu sweater. I wore them both when we went to Greece at the end of our deployment, which is the only good port visit we got, but whatever, it's fine. Every other port visit we had was about 120 degrees outside. So we wore, can't wear tank tops, you have to wear t-shirts. Good thing I didn't have to wear a long sleeve, but t-shirts, I wore joggers every single time because they at least let the wind through. You wear jeans and you're just like 2 pillars of sweat. So yeah, I would take little smaller projects out for that, but those weren't very exciting places. I've been in the Navy 18 years. This is my 8th deployment, and I've only deployed to the Middle East. I've never done, and I joined the Navy. Well, initially I joined the Navy because I knew some people in the Navy and they always had money for rent, and I was like, sign me up for that. I was in my early 20s, but I also thought like, oh, if I get stationed on the East Coast, because what my friends told me is the East Coast ships, they go over to the Med, right? Well, that's what I want to do. I want to go to Italy and Spain and all this. No. Been stationed on the East Coast for almost 10 years. And I've been to one port visit like that, and it was Greece. But it was beautiful. It was so cool. It was Athens, so, you know, that's amazing. I have pictures. I'm not sure if I'll put them in at the end of this, but whatever. You might see them, you might not. It depends. I don't have a lot of pictures. All right, next two are the same exact pattern. So this is the Very V-neck raglan by Jessie Maed, and this one is made out of Arcane Fiberworks. I'm sorry, I don't remember the colorway name, but I believe it was being discontinued. Maybe I'll bring it back. But it was like kind of this wintry, like the inspiration picture that he had was like this winter scene, and then, I don't know, just had like little branches and spots. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. This yarn is like a cloud. It is so soft. It is so soft. If you've never knit with it, get the DK yarn, knit with it. You're going to absolutely love it. It's beautiful. It's soft. And I've worn this a couple times and it hasn't pilled. So, I mean, that's a bonus. This Very V is one of my favorite patterns. I am also knitting it out of Dragonhoard yarn. Excuse me, one strand of fingering, one strand of Surrey alpaca. I've only gotten 3 rows on it, so I'm not going to show it to you. But I love this pattern because if it's too deep of a V, like this one I have to wear a tank top with, because like this is the top of my tank top, right? So I have to wear a tank top with it, but it's really beautiful and I wanted it that way. But you could also put more rounds on it and just make it as up there as you need. So that's my first Very V. This is my second one. And I love this one. This one fits so beautifully. I did my raglan increases a little differently on this one. I did a yarn over. And the other one I just did straight increases. This is Dragonhoard yarn. Tristan, I'm sorry. I don't know what this colorway is. I don't think you'll watch my podcast, but if you do, you can't remember. I'm sorry. But it's gorgeous, and I've had it forever. I only had 4 skeins of it. I don't know why I would only order 4 skeins of this beautiful yarn, but I made it work. I did it in 4 skeins, and this is her, this has nylon in it, so I believe she has an 80-20 DK base. If not, it might be 100% merino. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not her Polworth. But this one, I don't usually wear a tank top. I just kind of like whooshed it up, and then this, Sarah, I get a lot of shoulder action with this one, which is what I love. I like it when it falls off the shoulder, unless it's really cold out. But then I'll just put a shawl on, so it is what it is. Okay, next one, another V-neck, but a different pattern. This is the Northwoods V-neck, also by Jessie Maed. This one, in my first episode, I think, I started it. So this one was started and I finished it on deployment. The other 2 were started and finished on deployment. So this one I started and finished on deployment. This colorway is Dragonhoard yarn and it's called Slutty Pumpkin, and it's one of her autumn colorways. And it's in the tweed, DK tweed. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. I love this color. I don't care that it washes me out. I don't think it does. Actually, I think it looks great. Now that I have all this gray hair, it looks wonderful. It looks great. I like this pattern a lot, but I like the V-neck and the Very V better. This is definitely more, I guess modest, but I just like the way the shoulders are built in the Very V better than this one. These ones, I think it was a bottom up. So they're, so you bind off at the top, and so it's a little tight. So maybe probably my fault, not the pattern's fault, but still beautiful pattern, really nicely written. I just prefer the other one. Okay, the next two are the same pattern. Not the same one you just saw, but different same. Okay, so the Easy V. No, wait. Yes, that's yes, the Easy V. This is the Easy V by Caitlin Hunter. And oh my god, it's so pretty. This is yarn from Frankie Gay Fibers. That is Jody Brown from the Grocery Girls. That is her business, her yarn dyeing business. And I wish I could tell you the colorways. I believe this one is Lollipop in the middle. The other one is white, and then there's a dark charcoal, I believe it's what it's called. There are two different grays in here. It may not look it, but this one's a little bit darker than this one. And again, so her DK is, this is written for a worsted weight. I did it in DK. The first one I did, I actually wore in one of my other episodes, and that was out of Dragon Horde yarn, and I did that out of worsted. This one I did out of DK, same exact size that I did the other one in. Love it. It's just a little bit drapier, which is really, really nice. So it definitely drapes off the shoulder a little bit, which is amazing. And it's a really good like fall kind of warmish day sweater, but it's still a pretty warm sweater, but it's a little lighter, drapier. And this one is another one, another Easy V. And Jamie, if you're watching, you have to knit this sweater. You tried to knit it and then you made it too big and then you didn't go back to it. So what I'm going to tell you is do it in non-superwash wool. So the other one was in superwash, but it just worked out really well. And even though I blocked it, it still fits wonderfully. This one is non-superwash worsted, and it is amazing. It's beautiful. It's thick. It's not too big. I loved it. I used the needles that were asked for in the pattern. And this yarn is from the Skein and Tipple. That's Skein and T-I-P-P-L-E. They're out of Washington State. I think they're Whidbey Island, but I could be wrong. I went there last year for my birthday. For my birthday. And they are a yarn shop. And then at night they turn into a speakeasy. And oh my gosh, their cocktails are amazing. Their yarn is even better. This, I believe, is, I believe this is a local mill to her that she has dyed for her shop. But if you go onto her website, she has it all there. She has just a few yarns, but they're absolutely beautiful. I didn't alternate skeins, and look how beautiful that came out. Yeah. So that's Easy V. This one's definitely a lot thicker, probably how it's meant to be. And I love it. It's a wonderful winter sweater. Okay, I'm gonna like sneak over here and get this other sweater so I can show you. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, here it is. See, that wasn't too bad. So this one I made and I messed it up because I didn't read my pattern. So that's what you get. So this is the Tweety Crossover by Cozy Up Knits. And what I did was at the end of the design, you put your band on, right? And what I did was they said, oh, go over this many stitches and put your band on. And I said, I know better than you guys. I'm going to go over this far. And I went over too far and now it puckers. So I just have to rip it out and redo it, which is fine. But this is all these stash tweeds, if you want to call them that. And I do need to rip it out and fix it because it fits beautifully. I tried to block it to see if it would fix it. It didn't, like, duh. So I'm going to have to actually do it correctly. But this is a really cool pattern. It's built like a cardigan and then it's crossed over. So it's really neat. So you don't have to like keep crossing your cardigan over, right? These are all stash tweeds. I think this one is Ginger Snap. You can't see my finger. I think this one, this pink one, is Ginger Snap. And I know that this one is Ginger Snap. This is the Drogon colorway that she did. And the gray is also hers, I think. I don't know. It was all stash. This one was started and finished on deployment. Really, really fun to knit. I love the little stripy things because it like breaks the plain stockinette up and it's just really fun. Really, really fun. I'm going to knit another one too, but I got to fix that one first. Okay, I'm going to take a sip. And now we'll talk about my whips. Okay, I'll just quickly go over my blanket whips really quick. That's what quickly means. This one I started a few days ago. It's just going to be a small throw. Ooh. I can't remember the name of the design, but the designer is Megan Makes Do. And so she has this blanket pattern on her YouTube channel. And she does a tutorial. It's really cool. It's really fun. And she also has a sweater that out of the same pattern. So the same kind of stitch. So I am holding one skein of fingering and one skein of, that doesn't make sense. One strand of fingering and one strand of mohair together for these little bobble parts. And then the in-between is just a DK, I believe DK or worsted acrylic. And the minis that I'm using are from Crystal Sykes Hand Dyed, I believe. She's on Etsy. And she's actually Tristan from Dragonhorn Yarn's grandmom and Christy from Yarn Cafe Creations' mom. I don't know if she still dyes, but I have tons of her 5 skein sparkle minis from a club that I did years ago. So I thought it would be really cool to do something with them. And so that's what I finally settled on. So I'm excited about that. We'll see how that works out. It's kind of sitting on the back burner a little bit because it's getting hot here and I don't want mohair on my lap. I know, what a crazy concept. I don't know for the Canadians, if any Canadians are watching, I don't know what the equivalent is. For 80s, maybe 30 degrees Celsius, I think. I don't know. But it's about 87 right now. And we just had a thunderstorm, so it's just going to be super humid. Oh man, off my stitches. Sorry. All right, this is my other whip. This blanket is a Cozy Memories blanket, but it's DK. So the way I'm doing this is, I'm not smart enough to do this myself, but I got the pattern and she recommends fingering and this is what you cast on and here's your needle sizes. And so I just did what Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady did because she did a DK one, but I just changed my squares to be bigger. So these are cast on 50. And then once you buy the pattern, if you go to Kay's, the Crazy Sock Lady's page on Ravelry, she has all of her mods. So I followed her mods for the picking up and the slip stitches at the end. And it really, really makes a difference for this. I will try to hold this up the best I can. But, oh, I'm stepping on the yarn. Oh, geez. It just goes and goes. So this is 90% yarn. I know that's not a very good job at holding it up and I'm tangled, but it's fine. You'll be fine. When I finish it, I'll put a nice big picture. But I'm using 90% of Yarn Cafe Creations Halloween and fall yarns. I've got some ink sheep fibers and some homespun house in there as well, and some Dragonhorn yarn. But I've been collecting Christie's Halloween and fall colorways forever. So I got really pumped about like downsizing my stash a little bit, and I thought that would be a really good way to do it. And the squares are big. So I'm able to get, from one ball of DK, I can get 6 squares. So 12 individual squares total. I think. I can just count it. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Jeez Louise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I was totally off. 8. You get 8. So what I'm doing is I'm picking a color and I'm going across halfway, picking another color, going across halfway, and then I'm picking another color and going up this way as far as it will go, which is 8 squares, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of fun. I'm not picking random ones, which makes it a little easier on my brain. Okay. I do have another blanket, but I'm going to save it for another time. It is my DK Jelly Roll blanket. The Jelly Roll blanket is by Kay of the Bakery Bears, but again, DK. So I'm following the Crazy Sock Lady, her mods on it. So if you go to her Ravelry page, wow, English is a little hard. Yeah, go to her Ravelry page and all of the mods, same kind of concept as the slipping stitches for this blanket. So that one's a lot of fun, and I'm using my Row 1 minis for those, as well as Homespun House. I'm part of their Patreon, and I get the tier where I get 3 minis a month, which is a lot of fun. So there's that. All right, next whip is a, my hair is everywhere, is a baby sweater. This is another brioche. My coworker is having a baby boy. Well, his wife is, but I am making another, I don't know where the center is. It doesn't really matter. Another brioche sweater. This top gray is Ginger Snap in her, I don't even know what the color is, charcoal. That's my trash can. Yes, it is. Because I have my tags in there. That's where I swift my yarn, and okay, you get it. And the blue, which is incredible. You can't see that because my hand's in the way. Really, really beautiful. That's it in the skein. And that is how bright it is. And this is from the Perfect Stitch fiber company. I believe it's Canadian because she spells fiber F-I-B-R-E. And then the colorway is Case of the Blues. Looks like her website is theperfectstitchfiberco.com. This is a little bit slow moving, not because of the pattern or anything like that, just because of me and what I want to work on, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I just kind of let my brain do whatever it wants. Whatever I like is what happens. So there's that. Shawl whip. Who doesn't want to see one of those? So while I've been on convalescent leave, I've been watching a bunch of podcasts and watching a bunch of YouTube. And while I do other things, other crafts, whether I do the diamond art stuff, because it's nice to just change it up a little bit or do some other things. And I got a new sock machine from Dean & Bean Sock Company. It's a 3D printed one. I love it. I'm so excited. I figured out my tension to where it's like perfect to where it matches how I knit my socks. And I'm loving it. So while I'm doing that, I usually put on, I don't know if it's embarrassing, but I don't really care. So I usually put on like the Cozy Up Knit girls in the background because I operate very well in chaos, and it's kind of my comfort zone. So to have like 3 or 4 people around talking around me, I like that. So I actually started their stuff at episode 1. Sorry, Jamie and Sarah, but I love it. And I love to see how far they've come. So I've just been having that like kind of listen in the background. And Jamie did the What the Fade mystery knit along. And I remember I did it as well. I didn't do the mystery knit along, but I did it like a couple years afterwards with my first one. And I love it. And I wear it in the winter time. And it's like the only shawl that actually breaks the wind besides the My Neck Gets Cold cowl that Cozy Up Knits designed, because I test knit that, and I also have like DK weight Surrey alpaca inside of it. That blocks the wind too. But this one is like just one of those shawls. So I started it. This is Dragon Horde yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations. I don't know the colorways. I'm sorry, I've had them for a long time and I don't know what they are. But this is the front. I'm just going to I'm kind of willy-nillying it, and I only have 4 colors. I'm not doing the full colors. And then this is the back. I have 2 speckles. And so I'm kind of just going, and I'll finish the brioche when I want to. I'm not really following the pattern for that. I look at it for the increases, and then I'll go and garter for days, and however long I want it, I'll do it, or until the yarn runs out. So we'll see. So that's that. And then my last whip is another Easy V. Hooray! This one is kind of a dream sweater for me. This one is out of Farmer's Daughter Fibers. Farmer's Daughter Fibers? You know what? I'm sorry. I highly doubt Candace will ever see my face on YouTube, but if she does, that was wrong, and I apologize. This is her DK Tweed. I have it right here. How about it's Craggy Tweed. And this colorway is Legend. It's legendary. So this is her DK Tweed. It's beautiful to knit with, duh. And then I've got Spin Cycle. I can't remember what colorway this is, and I don't think, let me check. I do have it. Woo! This is the Slow Burn colorway. But what I asked them to do, so when I ordered it, they ask if you have any special requests, like, and so they, she talks about it on her website and on her lives, that if you order Spin Cycle and you are like, hey, I'm doing a sweater, can they be as close as possible? They will do their best to get them as close as possible for the colorways. For mine, it was the complete opposite. I was like, hey, I'm doing color work with this. Can they be as far away from each other as possible, but I still want the same color? Mostly because I could not, for the life of me, pick out 3. So I just had them do this, and oh my God, they delivered. So that's the color work panel for that. And then I just started the ribbing down at the bottom. So I have 2 inches of ribbing there, and then sleeves and some color work at the bottom of the sleeves to do. This has been a whip that I started, I don't know if I started this on deployment or not. I can't remember. I might have. Actually, I did. I did start it on deployment. I remember getting that yarn and hand winding it. And starting that, but it's been super languishing. Just, I haven't really been in the mood to knit sweaters. I've really been in the mood to knit blankets, so I'm just going with it, and whatever I feel like doing, I'll do. So, I mean, that's that. So, yeah. For dream knitting, well, I did finish a few hats. I finished a hat for, my new boo, and it is all like Viking runes, and I did it, it's over there. I'm not going to grab it because I'll just show it another time. But I did it on a dark gray. I did it in Barocco Vintage Worsted. Dark gray and a very slightly lighter gray. So it's like almost like a hidden design, if you will. So it's not like super like, boom, color work in your face. It's kind of like blended together. So we'll see if he likes that. He is in the Navy and he's out to sea right now. So I don't know. We'll see when he gets back. He won't be wearing it when he gets back because it will still be summer, hopefully. And so maybe this winter, it'll be something for him to put on. Other than that, a couple more baby knits. I've got this yarn. This is from my local yarn shop. And she dyes yarn as well, Sheep Graffiti, if you've never checked her out. Oh my God. She does some really, really beautiful colorways. And then those shawls and sweaters that have like the little blooms in them. She does those colorways. She's great. So please check her out. But this is her DK Boucle. Wow, that's more difficult than I thought to say. And I'm going to make one of those, like little comfort, snuggly things for babies. I don't know what they're called, but it's just going to have an animal head on it. And then the blanket comes out, just a small little blanket. So I'm going to do a frog. It's going to be really cute. So I'm going to do a little frog and a blanket and whatever I can get out of this for her. So that's that. Other than that, a couple life updates. So yeah, I had surgery on, knitting's done. If you don't want to see me after this, hurtful. It's hurtful. It's fine. So knitting, not knitting, no more knitting. Life updates. So I had surgery on the 12th, and I had, I've been having some lady issues for the past couple years. And I am perimenopausal at a very young age with a lazy uterus, with a lazy infertile uterus. Wow, when you say it out loud, it just sounds real glamorous, I'll tell you. Woo! Cheers to that. So, nothing I was doing, I couldn't take birth control. It was driving me bonkers. And that would have helped regulate stuff. But anyway, we opted for a hysterectomy. I was supposed to have it last year, but I pushed it off because it's not life-threatening. I pushed it off because I was going on deployment and I didn't want complications. Well, thank goodness I did, because I have complications. They don't know what's wrong with me. I have been healing very slowly and really, honestly, not very well. So we're trying to figure out what's going on and what has happened down there. I'm just having a lot of pain and I'm unable to walk more than 15 minutes at a slow pace on flat ground without having a lot of pain. So that's a problem. I work on a ship, and there's a lot of movement on a ship. Up and down a lot of ladder wells. It sounds exactly what it is. It's just a ladder. It's slightly more tilted, maybe a little bit wider of a step, but that's pretty much what it is. So it's up and down a ton of ladder wells and running around the ship. That's what we do. It's my job, especially in port. So it's really difficult to do that if you can't really go more than 10-15 minutes on flat ground. So I am going back to work, but not to the ship. I'm going to work at headquarters for a little while to heal up, and I'm really blessed that my command is willing to work with me. A lot of commands would just kind of write you off and like get you off the ship and transfer you, which means they'd put me in another command. And then when I was healed, they would like throw me back on another ship or something like that. So luckily I get to stay with my crew and with my people, and I'm very happy about that. So I will be back there soon. So hopefully if we get underway or whatever we do, I'll have some videos of that. But if you guys have questions, please let me know, put them in the comments, and I will answer them. I'm always happy to answer any questions. I have answered some in the past about like, how do you prepare for like how much yarn you're bringing and things like that. And so I've answered questions like that. Yeah, I think that's about it. Other than my surgery, I'm still on convalescent leave. I go back to work really soon though. And then it will feel great to do that again. Okay, until next time, hopefully in a couple weeks, I will come on here, pop on and give you a little update. But until next time, I hope everybody is well and has a wonderful summer and just has the best time. Okay,